And I think one of the patterns that, you're breaking around, like, from making that switch to more using crystal wands and eggs, is you, like, for me, what I've found is, like, it's really bringing, like, sensuality back to sex. Because, for me, my self-pleasure practice was so goal oriented. It was so quick. It was so, like, boom, 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 get my orgasm, get out of here, get on with my day. And with the crystal wands, you can't really do that. You've got to honor your body. You've got to really take your time. You've got to warm yourself up. You've got to ask for consent. And it feels like lovemaking rather than giving yourself a quickie.
That is so right. And one of my friends the other day mentioned on her Instagram, she was like, I just realized that I've been giving myself these quickies, like 3 to 5 minute quickies, for most of my sexual life, masturbation life. And she's like, if I went and hooked up with a guy and he just fucked me for 5 minutes and then left, would I feel fulfilled? Would I date him again? Would I see him again? Absolutely not. And so it's interesting, isn't it, that we do that to ourselves, like have these release, these quickies, these get it over and done with genital sneeze orgasms, and they feel amazing. It's not that they don't feel great, but would you want your partner to do that to you? How would you feel if your partner penetrated you and just sort of fucked you and left? It would probably make you feel quite a little bit empty, a little bit used, if you know what I mean. So reframing, and I talk about this a lot in the Golden Yoni membership, is like taking your time. Most women, well, a lot of women take from 30 minutes to over an hour to even get aroused, to even, get close to an orgasm. And yet a lot of our partners sort of tend to, can climax and ejaculate quite easily and quite quickly, but we actually need a lot more time. And we actually need it to be quite a bit slower and more, like a surrendering process, a sensual process. And I'm not saying this all the time, because everyone likes a hard and fast bang every now and again. But I think it's really important that if you're wanting to have these deeper orgasms and really have an orgasm with your partner, because most people will know how to give themselves an orgasm. You know your body, you know what you like. But to actually have that experience with a partner, it's vulnerable. You have to be really open and vulnerable. And if you're not having an orgasm with your partner, there might be some alarm bells around what's going on. But definitely letting yourself take your time.
I think that's such a key point, because we do live in such a fast-paced world that it's no surprise really that we are, as a culture, the same in the bedroom. Like, we want to just get it done and get it done fast and get what we came for. And I think, the conversation really needs to be had, not just with the women but with the men as well, of like, this is how long it can take, like a conversation of patience and not rushing, because I think if you've watched porn and that's been your only kind of reference point, things are hard and fast. The people are coming on demand, and there's no kind of like, there's not the sensual intimacy and the deep connection and real surrender that women really truly need. And I think this is why, so many women are used to faking orgasms, which is just, to me, like, just I feel like it's just cheating yourself out of something magical, and also cheating your partner. So how can we start to have more open conversations with our partners about sex, if we are kind of having this sexual awakening and starting to realize that actually what we need is actually very different than what we've been doing for the last however many years?
Absolutely. Well, we need to start talking about it. We need to stop faking orgasms, and I've done that before, and it's it's not going to get you what you really want. We need to stop thinking that we can have an orgasm in 5 minutes. Stop faking orgasms, and start having these discussions with your partner outside of the bedroom. So I always suggest to couples, if they're having this block, It is natural for there to be, discrepancies in each other's libido and orgasm potential and all this kind of stuff. But it is important that you sit down together outside of the bedroom, because if you're doing it in the bedroom just before sex or after sex, people are more likely to get triggered and get hurt and take it personally. But if you're sitting down with a cup of coffee at the dining table and you're having like an adult conversation about this, and really letting your partner know what it is you need. And that comes back to self-pleasure. When you start to self-pleasure, pleasure yourself in a way that's making love to yourself, like actually make love to yourself in a way that you want your partner to, because that'll start to set the scene, that'll start to set the tone for what you expect in your sexual relationships. So sitting down with your partner and actually mapping out what it is that you desire, what you need. And if you don't feel comfortable to do that with your partner, then obviously there's some deeper issues there. But I did a video on this, because a lot of women are feeling like, when you get to that point in sex and you go, you can hurry up and come now. So not doing that, because if you tell them to just hurry up and come and get it over with, you're not, it's important for you to be a little bit selfish too, and to ask for what you need. We're so used to, in our patriarchal kind of society, it's just sort of giving everything, pleasure, babies, everything is for the other. And it's important that you reclaim your pleasure and your needs in sex, and you deserve that. Pleasure is our birthright. Don't think I've really I remember I've had lots of beautiful tantric lovers over the years, but there was this one guy that I met on Tinder, and I've hardly ever gone on Tinder, and I met him on Tinder and we started having sex, and he would ejaculate within 5 to 10 minutes and wouldn't even ask me, have you orgasmed? Did you want to orgasm? How do I make you orgasm? And it happened a couple of times, and I tried to express a few things, and for me, it's just a deal breaker. If somebody's not willing to really prioritize my pleasure as well, then boy, bye. Find the door. It's
totally. And it's the same as expecting oral, but not being willing to give it. What's up with that? That's very common, and I think a lot of women accept that as well. They accept, oh, I give it, but I don't receive it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for some people it's a cultural thing, a religious thing. It's definitely very common, and I've had that in a relationship once as well. And again, deal breaker. Sorry, but oral's my favorite thing in the whole wide world, and I'm in a same-sex relationship now, so most of our sex is based around that. And I think if a lot of women can't orgasm, it's because they're not getting good oral sex. Oral sex is the key in my humble opinion, is the key to the female orgasm. I'm talking tongue and fingers. Let's go back to basics. I tell a lot of my couples clients to take sex off the menu, as in penis in vagina sex, and go back to passionate kissing. Open the mouth, kiss through. How many times a day do you open mouth kiss your partner? Go back to touching each other's, fondling each other's breasts, and hand jobs and fingering, and that actually starts to ignite the pleasure again, and that sort of erotic innocence. And I think that's really we kind of prioritize sex a lot, and I really think actually coming back to manual stimulation, oral stimulation, and really not being afraid to really receive.